Hi Form 5. So here's a video all about pie charts. Okay, so pie charts are used in data handling and they're circular charts, circular like a pie, divided up into segments, slices, sections, and each of those parts represents a value, an amount. Okay, so when we look at the pie chart, we can clearly and quickly see differences in data, and that's why they're used. So here's an example of a pie chart, and it shows the number of animals. Maybe it's the number of animals spotted on a walk around a farm or something. And as we look at the pie chart and look at the key at the side, we can answer any questions about it. So for example, I might ask you a question, that says, were there more cats than there were chickens? And if you look for which one is cats and which one is chickens, we can quickly see the answer to that. We can quickly see, yes, there were more cats than chickens, okay? Or we could ask a question, which animal were there more of, cows or dogs? And again, it's very quick. Once you use the key, you can answer that question. So this is an example of a pie chart without any numbers on it, because I just wanted to show you that you can quickly read data from this pie chart. But often pie charts will have numbers on them because we need to be precise. So here's another example of a pie chart. This one shows the methods of travelling to school. I imagine this is a survey done with a class, kind of like some of the children have been coming into our classroom and asking us these questions too. So we have some options on the right, which we can see which one represents which one based on the key, the colour. Okay, so I might ask you a question about this pie chart. You can answer it in your head, or even speak to your iPad if you want to. How many children travelled to school by car? Yes, you're right, it is 9. How many children travel to school by train? Only the 1. Yes. So we can use the key at the side and work out which colour it is represented, and then look at the pie chart to see how many. I'm hoping you understand that, but I'll just show you. So if I ask you how many children walk to school, I first look at the key and find walk. Then I see which colour that is, hop on over to the pie and find the matching section. In this case, it is this section right here, and I can see the answer, 8 children. Here's another example of a pie chart, and this one doesn't actually show us the numbers, it shows us percentages, but the same kind of thing. I might ask you, what percentage of the class, let's say, had ice cream yesterday? So we go to the key first, find ice cream, see which colour that is, hop on over here, and yes, it's 29%. A lucky 29% of the class had ice cream yesterday. Now I'll ask you another question, see if you can do this one. What percentage of the class had vegetables yesterday? Yep, it's 14%. Sometimes the questions might be more tricky, like you would get for bar charts and so on. It may be a question like, what percentage of the class ate vegetables or bread yesterday? So we follow the same procedure. We look at the key, we're looking for vegetables and bread, we're looking at the green and the purple. We head over here to the pie and we find the information we're looking for. But because we want to know what percentage had vegetables or bread, we're going to add the two together. Okay, so it would be 28%. Hope that makes sense. Another example of a question you might get is something like, how many more percent in this case had meat than had ice cream. And if you get a question that's how many more, you'll need to do a subtraction. You're finding the difference. So I wanted to know meat and ice cream. So that's blue and red. So it's 43 minus 29. You might be able to do this in your head. If you can't, you can use column subtraction and go in this way. Okay, so 14% more children had meat than had ice cream. Another example. What is your favourite fruit? So let's ask you a quick question that I want you to answer in your head or shout at your iPad. What percentage of children prefer grapes? Yes, 27%. What percentage of children prefer orange? 13%. Notice on this pie chart, there's no key. Why do you think there's no key here? Yeah, because this pie chart has large enough sections for you to write the word on each section. The key becomes useful, let me flip back, when we have small sections like this, where we actually couldn't write a word on there very clearly. So the key is for clarity when we have those smaller sections. Okay, so let me ask you another question to do with the fruit pie chart. How many children, or what percentage of children, preferred bananas or grapes? What percentage of children preferred bananas or grapes? Okay, so we need to be adding this to this, and the answer is 57%. Well done if you got it. Now, I'm going to use the same pie chart and show you something a little, well, you might say it's a little more tricky. Sometimes we have a pie chart with the percentages on it, like this one, but there's a really important piece of information, and it tells you the total number surveyed, or the total number of people asked. Okay, so this is one example of that. Because the whole pie represents the whole number of people, or the whole number of animals for the first one. So this is really telling me that the whole pie represents 80. Okay, that's the key number here. If the whole pie represents 80 people, then I'm going to have to find percentages of that. So my question to you will first be, how many children preferred peach? So what I'm going to need to do to find out how many, not the percentage, I want to know the number of children, I'll have to convert this into a number. So what I'm going to have to do is find 10% of the whole, which is 80. Now we know how to find 10%, we were doing it the other day. To find 10%, we're going to divide by 10, okay, because it's the same as 1/10. Okay, that's what that means. So we're going to do 80 divided by 10, which is 8. Well done. So we can say that 8 children prefer peach. It's their favourite fruit. Let's look at another one. This one's going to be a little harder, but hopefully we understand this. Let's go for the pineapple. How many children prefer pineapple? So this time it's 20% of 80. Now to find 20%, I'm going to divide by 10 to find 10% and then double it. Or you could divide by 5 to find a fifth. It's the same thing, okay? But I'll show you the simplest way, which is to find 10% first. And it's the same thing we just did. 10% of 80 is the same as doing 80 divided by 10, which is 8. Now I've got to double that because I want 20%, and 20 is double 10. So 8 times 2, 16. So 20% of 80 is 16 children. Okay, so 16 children absolutely love pineapples. Let me show you one more. I bet you can do the last one I'm going to show you actually really quickly. Let's do bananas. How many children's favourite fruit is bananas? So 30% of 80. Let's get 10% first. You already know this now. It's 8. Then we're going to times it by 3 because 30 is 10 times, 30 is 3 times 10. Okay, so 24. So the answer is 24 here. Okay, so that is all. Your task for today is on Mathletics. It's been assigned to you. It's called pie charts. Please have a look for it if you can't find it. Have a look around your activities that you've been set, or you can also find it in the Learn section yourself. Please do this activity. You might want to get some paper to make some notes or do any calculations yourself. I think the furthest this will go is finding multiples of 10%, okay, like I've just shown you. So let us know if you have any questions. Miss Payne and I are online. We're available to do individual calls or group chats. However you want help, we are here to help you. So let us know how you get on.